Hello. Thank you for listening to and watching You Had Options. This episode, I have Rhys Green from the very good band Popsiclestickairport, PSA for short. They've got a new EP out called EP for Faries. It's great. Talk about with Rhys, we talk about the influences behind the EP and just kind of where the sound comes from and all that stuff. Yeah, a good conversation. There's some fun stuff we talk about. I enjoyed very much talking to him. Go find Popsiclestickairport on the Instagram. It's at Popsiclestickairport, all spelled out. Go find You Had Options at You Had Options on Instagram and Twitter. We're now verified on Twitter just for being a person of interest, not anything else dealing with Twitter recently where you can pay to be verified. Nothing to do with that. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks, Rhys. It's a fun conversation. I'm excited to see what happens with Popsiclestickairport. Good band, good song. Yeah, hope you enjoy. Thank you. It's Rhys, right?
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know if it was pronounced Rice or Rhys.
Nope, it's Rhys, like John Rhys Davies.
Oh, okay.
That guy.
Yeah. What? Are you in Arizona? Is that right?
I live in Utah.
Oh, okay.
So
is the band Arizona based?
Yeah. Well, I used to live in Arizona, so everyone's still down there, and I just moved basically because of in the middle of the pandemic, just because I didn't want to be home anymore. I didn't really think the band thing was going to continue, but here we are. So it's kind of this.
So how long had y'all been together before the pandemic?
Just like a year before. Like we started doing this band like beginning of 2019. So
okay,
about a year later the pandemic happened, and then after that moved. So
were you guys still making music during the pandemic, or what was going on with y'all then? Or like writing?
I guess we technically were. I don't know. It wasn't as like collaborative though, and there also wasn't really much of like a process. I mean, the process was that there's no process. Like, so that was kind of 2020 for us with the pandemic. I don't know.
Damn. But you guys just put out an EP.
Yeah. So then, I guess so. Yeah, it depends on our parameters of when the pandemic is, or when it was.
Oh, it's still going on. Yeah.
Okay, so if we're still in the, yeah. So I guess around like, honestly, this time last year, I guess. So I was like we were just doing like our first handful of shows again here in Salt Lake, and then in like Denver, and then that's when I was like beginning to write those demos for all the songs that just came out just like 2 weeks ago now. So yeah, kind of how we rock and roll. It took like about a year for those 5 songs to come out, but I mean, yeah, if we're talking about the process in that case, I mean, with that project at the very least, it was kind of just like whatever idea I had, I would just kind of see to it the fullest I could, and then just it's kind of sent off to the dudes, and they kind of edit it. It's kind of how it works.
Yeah. So, were you recording like your own stuff in Utah and sending it back to them in Arizona?
Yeah, so we did one song with so pretty much the whole EP or large, the majority of it is produced by Matthew Keller. So he's based in Arizona, and so yeah, we had one song that we tracked all of it there, and then we had to change course a little bit, and then it was just kind of recorded by me and sent um, to Matt. So yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I was in order to prepare today, I've been listening to it a lot. I like
Okay.
it. It's good. Yeah, it's I forget. There's somewhere I saw the 1975 mention. I'm like, yeah, I hear that for sure.
Yeah. No. Yeah, we like that band. That's like we all come from like very different, you know, backgrounds, genres of music. We all
Right.
have like our own little flair. But the 1975, the Strokes, and I don't know. Maybe there's like another one I can name. Those are like home base for all of us.
Yeah.
You know,
Have y'all
something we all
been?
share.
Yeah, that's a good base. It's a like I remember whenever the 1975 started like blowing up, and I was like, some of the songs were super catchy, and then some stuff was more like, I don't know, like very English. I don't know if that's the right way to go about it.
English, like you
Yeah,
couldn't take them seriously with their accents or something. Or?
no, just like very wordy, I guess. I don't if that makes sense at all.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, but had you guys been playing in bands together before?
Yeah. So I guess that so Ethan, one of the guitarists, he and I are like childhood friends. So we've known each other since we were like 11 is
Yeah.
when I can remember him, but we've like known each other like even longer than that probably. Yeah, we were on like football teams together, and then Cade and the other guitarist, um, I know through Ethan, and then we met. We all started jamming when we were like 16, so we're just kind of all friends in high school. Made songs here and there, but this project didn't really happen until pretty late in our high school career.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, yeah, so you guys, yeah, coming together, I guess, with this group. Um, yeah, I don't know. I had a question there. I lost it.
It's okay.
So, were you guys always into this type of music, or was there ever like a punk band or hardcore band or something that y'all were trying to go for early on?
um, Good question. I mean, um, I don't know. Like, I I've kind of, yeah. So with this sound, like trying to reach this sound, I don't know. I mean, like I said, we kind of just all have our different influences. So you know, everything that just kind of gets like jobbled together is like what makes our sound, I guess. Sticking to this like specifically, I know. I mean, Ethan and Caden and I, like my childhood friends that I named, like we've kind of shared the same sound for the majority of our formative years. So that's kind of made it a little more simpler.
Yeah.
Um,
So like, yeah, I guess like finding your voice or whatever as and sound is like probably the hardest thing when you're starting a band or forming and starting to figure out like your direction.
yeah, no, and I get so in my head about it because there'll just be like weeks that go by where I like don't even know what to make because the classic everything's been done before. It's like
Yeah.
so what? How can we stand out? So I don't know. That's always like super ambitious to say because I get like I don't know, because then you would hear that and you're like, okay, so whatever he's put out, he believes it's how he's standing out, and it's like I don't really know, but you know, we're doing our best to stand out.
Yeah, it's good. The recordings are good. The songs are good. It's
Thank you, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just it's tough, and especially like you're just saying, trying to find your own thing and like not getting in your own way of like, oh, this sounds like this thing or whatever. Yeah, it's tough. As it is since, well, how far are you from everybody else? Has it been tough with like rehearsing and getting shows together and
Getting shows together is kind of not really like much of our responsibility anymore. We just kind of give the yes or no on that.
oh nice.
But you know, as for rehearsing, like yeah, it's pretty much, you know, boiled down to, okay, what songs do we want to play? What sounds the most fun? What sounds like the best show? We pick the set list, and then, you know, it's just everyone's job to stay up to, you know, on their parts, and then they kind of rehearse without me, get into, you know, get their gears working together, and then we have like a big rehearsal day. Like, you know, usually for like the day before a show or something, where we just try to all, you know, just go over parts and get it going again. So, you know, in terms of difficulty, which I think is like, which was your original question with me being far away. I mean, how far am I? I'm like 500 miles. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, thank God for like technology, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Lots of texting, a lot of phone calls, and lots of sending files back and forth.
Yeah. It's I guess I don't know. It's tougher. Yeah, the distance is tough, but like, yeah, it's just the being able to reach people quickly now, you know.
Sure. Yeah. No, and I think about like, you know, me being up here, of course, like, you know, I don't know, like I like being up here. I mean, I think Utah have you ever been to the West? Like,
I haven't been to Utah. I got a buddy in Park City that I need to at some point visit.
Yeah, I'm not too far away from Park City, but yeah, I don't know. It's definitely more of a vibe up here. So, so Utah is where it's at. Let me just say.
So like where you are in Salt Lake, is it like a resort type area, or is it more like, I don't know, collegey type?
Yeah, so I'm in Salt Lake City. Not quite resorty. That would be Park City. Park City is the resort city of, you know, Utah, and then greatest snow on earth, and then and then it's, you know, I don't know. It's just kind of, it's a really small city comparatively, but yeah, there's the U here. So there's a college aspect that's kind of on the more eastern side. I'm a little more on the western side, but.
Is there a lot of band community going on, like shows and art scene? All
you
that
know
stuff?
What? You know what? There probably is. I'm pretty like. I'm not very involved in it as I would like to be, truthfully. But yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, right now, if you look at young kids, you know, making their music now, it's kind of like what you would find anywhere, I think. Yeah, Utah, I think the young kids here are just kind of, it's either going to be like a indie punk kind of vibe, or it's going to be like electronica kind of vibe. The term hyper pop now is kind of thrown around. So a lot of hyper pop SoundCloud music, which I love. So
have you ever thought about making a hyper pop EP or anything super synthy?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you look, I mean, there's. Can I link you anything? Or I don't even know how to do that one. Oh, it's on chat. Probably.
Yeah, you can send it in the chat.
We kind of have like a B-side. We have a lot of like unreleased music on our Bandcamp, stuff that isn't all on streaming. But,
okay.
But I mean,
yeah,
this has definitely been done by us before. Our song "Feel Better" is very inspired by like, it's like hardcore punk, The Garden meets hyper pop noise rock. So that's definitely been dabbled in with, and then and then like my friend and I make it all the time. There's I'm actually very, far deep in this than you might have assumed. Right? Very, very knowledgeable on hyperpop.
Nice. What are like what would be some hyperpop people you would suggest to somebody
like
wanting to get in?
I mean, honestly, the people who kind of made hyperpop mainstream, it would be 100 Gex. So if you've heard of them, so yeah, I mean, my friend, I can flex this a little bit. My friend and I, Thomas, I mean, we were all, we were on the tip with hyperpop, as most kids that were, our age and stuff. So, back in the day when like, you're listening, I mean, 1,000 Gex, right? The 100 Gex album came out summer of 2019 and you're listening to it and, Spotify doesn't even know what to show you after that. Back in the day, they would put on like Death Grips or something. So now there's a hyperpop. I mean, the term was coined. I don't even know who coined it actually. Like New York Times, I remember wrote an article on it, and then the playlist was made, and then we got there's kind of like this split where a lot of people mixed up glitchcore and hyperpop, and it, the lines are getting really blurry, but. I mean, 100 Gex, they kind of just like straight up invented it. They're kind of moving far away from it now. It's more of like a hyper rock kind of edge, and they have like the whole ska influence. But 100 Gex, I don't know. Charlie XCX, Sophie, Caroline Polachek. Those are kind of like the surrealist hyper pop artists, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's weird whenever like. It's not weird, but it's always interesting whenever like a sub genre of something like
subgenre subculture.
It's like like a couple of layers deep in a come I don't know. I guess Anthony Fantano starts talking about it, and then people start checking them out or whatever. It's always interesting. With y'all, are y'all, when you're putting out music, are you concerned with like, we got to try and get on Anthony Fantano or whatever, try and get on a list or something, like not just like a playlist, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Not, I mean, definitely a while ago. I mean, I think Fantano's lost its charm in a way, but like in 2020 for sure, like, I was like really ambitious with my projects, and I was like, I want myself to be hailed as like some like bedroom pop, like I don't know, like yeah. I mean, short answer, yes. There was a desire to kind of be on this like this mu core, right?
Mu core,
like I can type it slash mu, or like something you find on
okay,
like Reddit.
I got
We're talking like so what was your question, if we were striving for that?
Like, I don't know, like, is that something, a conscious thing whenever y'all are putting out music? Like, does it concern you? Like, I don't know, it's
no, not really anymore. I mean, like I said, I mean the waves come and go. I mean, we're just on the internet. I mean, our genre now is just internet music. So
internet music.
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
I don't know. This got written the other day. PSA is a 5-piece darling pop / fairycore band from Arizona that can be best described as playing a fusion of indie pop, alternative emo, new wave, femboy, and pretentious suburban rock. That's a lot of
words. That's a lot of adjectives.
So there you go.
Yeah. I guess it's like you shouldn't be concerned. Just like make your art, like make your sound or whatever, and just not be concerned with that sort of stuff. And if you end up on a list, or if somebody talks about you in a good way or in a bad way. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's cool.
and not being concerned can include, wearing your references on your sleeve, right? I mean, movies get to reference other movies and other paintings, and I don't.
That's true.
I feel like I can reference,
Yeah.
like what is like sensibilities. I'm gonna feel like an idiot for not remembering this word. In musicals, the reoccurring themes.
Tropes? Is that the word?
Yeah, tropes. Reoccurring themes in musicals. There's a specific word I'm looking for.
Okay. Yeah.
Motif.
Motif. Oh yeah. That's more musical word.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not creating in a vacuum. You're not gonna invent a new note. All the notes are there. They already exist.
All 8 of them.
All 8. Yeah. What the hell? What do you expect? But are you guys playing in Japan? Did I see that on your?
Yes.
What is it? So you guys are going to Japan?
What's the deal with that?
Or
why are we going to Japan before we go to Alabama? Is that what you're asking?
No. Boy, I'm all about like going to the doing the crazy thing. Yeah,
doing the crazy thing, shooting for the stars. No, I'm playing. That's like our perspective. We kind of, in a way, don't know why we're going to Japan before we go to the East Coast. I mean, we still got to do the West Coast, the rest of it, right? So
yeah, America's big.
Yeah,
America's big when we're driving around.
Oh, you're telling me. So yeah, that was just kind of a spur of the moment. I was just minding my own business, doing something not too different from this. And then I get this like text from a manager is like, by the way, I applied for like this music festival in Tokyo. And I was just like, okay, that's cool.
Hell yeah.
Let's see where it goes. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything. And then just a couple of weeks after that, it was like, oh, well, by the way, you got accepted. And then, a lot of stuff we had to weigh, a lot of pros and cons, but I mean, we're fundraising it all, and we're just kind of taking whatever means necessary to get there, and it's just going to be an experience, truthfully.
Hell yeah!
So that's that.
That's sick. That's exciting.
Yeah, very excited. The festival is called Tokyo Beyond Fest.
Okay.
Like
Tokyo Beyond. Okay. Yeah. What's the longest plane flight you've been on?
Probably like. It can't be longer than 8 hours, so it's probably like 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Don't make me think about the flight. I'm gonna need some NyQuil or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It's all.
What about you?
All part of the experience. I flew from. It's probably like 8 hours, 9 hours from. New Orleans to London.
Oh wow. Okay.
But yeah, it's not that bad. You're just you watch some movies. You try and
we're flying out of L.A. and landing in Tokyo, so that's like 14 to 16 hours just being in the air. I think that's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a long time to be in the air.
Yeah, that's a good amount. 6. Yeah, if you're hitting 16, because you can sleep full 8 hours. And you still get,
I mean, yeah, and then it's difficult to sleep 16, and that's if you can sleep on flights. Some people can't.
Man, I've got a tough time sleeping in my house. So.
Well, there you go. So,
that's
funny.
Do you have? Are you concerned about being able to sleep on the plane?
Oh, very concerned. Yeah.
Man.
I don't know. Audiobooks. Do you still have that? And I actually had an idea. I'm like, 16 hours, that's not I was thinking of actually making I was like, well, what if I made like a little like EP basically?
Ooh.
Like an ambient probably like house EP just on the, and it's like, but I can only start it on the flight, and it needs to be done by the time the flight's over.
I like that.
So that was one of the ideas I had. I think that would get me like really distracted and pass some time. Yeah. Just be like, it'd be 5 songs, each 10 minutes long, and it's just a droning synth the whole time. That's what it's going to end up being.
Love it. Yeah. You should, do it.
Test my Brian Eno chops.
Yeah. 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 Make like an 8-hour EP. Man.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
What, do you like the writing process? Do you start with like, how do you write, like with a good acoustic guitar, or do you? How does that work?
It's so different for like every song, I guess. I'm like thinking about, I mean, an electric or an acoustic, it usually does start on the guitar. That's kind of the truth. And then it's just kind of finding any way I can make cool chords, go in a cool pattern, and then start scatting the melody over it. But guitar for sure.
Have you been playing guitar for a long time?
I mean, I got my first electric when I was like 11. Probably didn't really start playing acoustic and electric until I was like 14, let's say 13 or 14. So I don't know, kind of like same thing, kind of, ambitious to say, because if I pulled up a guitar right now, I don't want anyone to be like, that's what 10 years or whatever. You need another 10.
I feel you. I'm very like, sometimes I'm super like intentional with like playing, or like I want to write something, when I'm sitting down today, write something. Is that how you are? Or are you like kind of passive, or a combination?
I think I'm just ready. Yeah. I'm just ready for when inspiration strikes. So everything is just kind of where it needs to be, so I can just get down and do it. And if I'm not like home, then you just have to hum it on your voice memo. I don't know if something comes into your head, but yeah, speaking of Brian Eno, that's one of his like little, I don't know, anecdotes. Just be prepared, be ready.
Interesting.
I mean, the least you can do. I always compare like art, like in this case, music, to another art form.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think I might have got that from it, like, or even like sports, honestly. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to draw something, I mean, if your passion is to draw, like, you can just sit down at the very least and sharpen your pencils, or, clean your paintbrush kit. So that's kind of what I do. I mean, if Logic isn't opened at least, 3 to 5 times a week, then what am I doing? I'm not really an artist.
That's true. Yeah. Talking about like Brian Eno, do you get super into like, or I don't know, I'm usually like obsessive whenever I find somebody like Brian Eno, or like, I don't know, just like
someone who's a character.
Yeah. And they're
icon.
Yeah. And they're doing, people like praise them, like David Byrne, the Talking Heads guy, and people like that.
Mm-hmm. Love him.
Are you the same way, where like you find somebody and you're like, I got to know like everything about this person, or do you like deep dives?
I would say for sure, like, in a way, I mean, I want to know what made someone, like, like for like David Byrne, for instance, like why, was he so cool? I don't know.
Yeah.
And like, then what I observe is like, the way he sings, right? I mean, and then I read something, I think my friend said this about David Byrne, where it's like, singing is such an interesting, that's literally your, like, the output of your soul, let's say. And then, they said it like, David Byrne isn't trying to sing like that. He can't sing any other way. Like, that is his expression.
Yeah.
The way he sings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So So that's just an example with him. Like, that's kind of what made him stick out, you know, very grating kind of performance, but sticks with a lot of people. So, and then if it sticks with someone, that's what I need to implement in a way.
Yeah.
my face showing all confidence on that.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, because David Byrne isn't like, you're not gonna play him like a vocal to some, I don't know, vocal teacher or whatever, and then be like, oh, this is a beautiful voice. Yeah. So it's always interesting to me when somebody, because he just has like a normal voice, like pretty much, you know, it's not like but there's something, I don't know what it is, a je ne sais quoi, I don't know, to like why is, you know, but obviously it's more than him just like singing. His songs are sick. So
100%. Yeah.
Did you ever watch?
Yeah, I don't want to hear. What's up?
Did you ever watch his Broadway play thing?
It doesn't ring a bell, so probably not, unfortunately.
It was interesting. It came out a couple years ago. He was like indoor marching band, pretty much. Like all of his band members, they were playing like normal instruments, except for like the drummers had like marching band instruments, and they were like, yeah, it's like indoor marching band. It's weird.
Cool.
But it's cool.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, who else is doing that besides like actual marching bands? It's like a weird combination of, I don't know. I was in marching band in high school, so I'm like, I don't know, marching band wasn't sexy and cool whenever I was in high school, you know? So it's like,
what did you play?
I played trombone.
I guess trombone.
Oh yeah, you got it.
How did I know?
It's got the face. I don't know. Yeah,
got the arms. Stretch out your arms. Let's see.
Oh yeah, I got these long boys. Yeah.
There you go.
Were you in band in high school?
I was in jazz band. I did the drums. Yeah, I saw Whiplash once, and I was like, okay, I guess I could do something like that.
Were you trying to get your like band director person to like scream at you and throw things at you? Were you like,
no, he like was the quietest guy in the world.
Oh no.
He yeah, no, I know, not though. In his defense, he wasn't really. I went to like a small high school, so it was like, oh, the history teacher is the football coach.
Oh, sure, gotcha.
So he did like orchestra, band, and then the jazz band that he like threw together. It was like a 7th hour, so it was like more like a club.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he's very quiet, and if anything, the guitarist, his name is Kyle. He kind of was like the bad guy.
Oh, hell yeah.
But like in a cool way. Like he was the one that was, but he was like a student, which made it cool. Like he was very passionate about it, and he like would give us all homework. I mean, he showed me who Miles Davis was.
That's important. Yeah, you got to have,
very important.
You got to have people like tastemakers in your life, or whatever you want to call them. Somebody showing you, who Miles Davis is, But yeah. Do you have, thinking back, have you had a bunch of people like that in your life, or a couple?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, parents is like usually where anyone would draw like I mean, yeah, you grow up listening to the same music as your parents, and then you will have your emo phase, let's say.
Oh yeah.
And then you'll kind of, so yeah, parents number one. I mean,
what?
I grew up on like Queen, The Killers, U2, The Police. So yeah. And then in high school, I discovered The Cure, and this became like a really like honestly kind of nasty, like ongoing joke with my mom where I'd be like, well, you never showed me The Cure. Like you showed me U2 for crying out loud. And then this kid, I think I might get some hate for this, but I mean, then hopefully this will give you some clicks.
There we go. As long as you're not like doxing somebody. Yeah.
No, it was like last year or something. I was like, they were both in my rotation again. And I was like, you know what? Controversial opinion, but they're actually not even that different in a way. U2 and The Cure, which I think some people would be like, what? But I was like, you know what? I mean, so I had to apologize to my mom. I was like, you know what? You showed me U2, and I don't know. I was like listening. I mean, they're both like new wave 80s bands. So
yeah,
there's a kernel of similarity there, but I don't know. Don't ask me to explain that. We can just move on.
Okay, we can just move on. I was about to ask you. I was like, yeah. Yeah.
U2 has U2 has kind of like almost not rebrand, because they've been like this since like the 90s and even early 2000s, where every song was like, let's just throw on delay on a riff. And it's like
yeah.
And then like, so when that started happening, I think that's like, and then if you listen to The Cure, it's like, how does this even match? But the experience came from one afternoon of just listening to Bloody Sunday, and just, if you like really pay attention to his voice, it's like, this is not far off from Robert Smith. Like, I don't know. You can, I mean, they just both have the accent and love to belt sometimes, and some of their vowels are the same. So that's kind of all I was getting at. But
I'll have to.
I said, don't ask, and I end up explaining. But
no, I like it. No, yeah, it's like, God, well, U2 has had the same members for like since the beginning, for whatever 40 years, going on 50 years soonish. And The Cure has had Robert Smith since the beginning. God, I just can't. Can you imagine being Robert Smith for like Robert Smith, the public figure for like so long? I don't know. It's crazy. Do you think?
No, I can't imagine.
do you think he does the hair and makeup to just go to Aldi or wherever he's going?
I hope so, but probably not. I don't know. Do you see the clip of them when they got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And
I don't think so.
The lady is just very loud and in his face, and he's like, "Okay, that's cool." And like shoos her away. I mean, yeah. In a way, he's unapologetically himself. I mean, he's exhausted from being Robert Smith all the time.
It's exhausting. Yeah. I don't know. Have you ever wanted to do like a theatrical, like music thing? I don't know, like theatrical in the sense of like dressing up theatrically.
I mean, so funny story. So recently, when we were doing like this house show fundraiser thing, it was like our first house show in like a pretty long time, because we were just like playing these venues, which was not always the case.
Oh yeah.
And I was at a wedding the day before or the night before, and there was just a friend there. So I was dressed up for the wedding, right, in like a shirt and tie, and then my friend there was like, "Oh, are you going to wear this tomorrow, like at the show?" And I was like, you know what, I want to like do that. So I did, and then I had a shirt and tie, I had sunglasses on, and that was like definitely the coolest I've ever looked. And so yeah, I think I want to start like dressing up now. I mean, just in terms of like, theatrics and stuff. I mean, we're pretty limited to like in like the visual aspect. I mean, dressing up. I mean, so the band that is like really good at this now is like The Garden. I mean, they dress up as like jesters or like clowns, because it's all like they say it's a reference to like, I mean, jesters were the performers. So,
right.
I don't know. There's like a really cool idea of like being like, I am your jester, I'm your performer, like, I'm here to entertain you. That's kind of like how I see them. pulling it off. So I don't know, until we find a really good idea like the garden, then yeah, you can expect us to. That'll be our brand. That's what we'll wear every day. That'll be our theatrical performance.
Wow, it's tough because you gotta, you don't want to get married to this one thing, and a year later you're like, fuck. I'm wearing this big, I don't know, Wisconsin Green Bay cheese hat. That
nice. I like that's where you went with.
I don't know, or like, what's his name? The guy, Sledgehammer, Peter Gabriel. He would wear like a like a light bulb suit. And it's like, that's not practical.
You lost me. Looking it up now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That's just something because my bands have always been like straightforward, like punk rock bands pretty much. So it's like, you could dress up crazy, but it's also like, if you're touring, you don't want to add more stuff to have to do.
Oh yeah. No, I get that.
One day I'll make, I don't know, I'll dress up like something crazy and make a avant-garde thing. Hopefully.
Looking around for inspiration as to what I could do.
So the EP for Faries, where did the fairy thing come from? Like, what is that?
Yeah, so basically, no, okay, I don't know. Well, I think, in itself, like EP, extended play for Faries, I think, that's just kind of a reference to, speaking of Brian Eno, because he had music for airports.
Yeah.
Airport. So I think the idea behind it is like, we just kind of were like posting truthfully, like about just like whenever, or sorry, let me rephrase that. When we were just posting about anything, leading up to it, we just kind of like, truthfully, we just started like using like that emoji and like, I don't know, like the EP in a way, it was kind of almost just like this revival of like indie sleaze is what some people call it. So a lot of the inspiration was like Phoenix, right?
Oh, okay.
Like 1901 by Phoenix.
Yeah.
We love Passion Pit. So anything glittery, sparkly is kind of like where the fairy bit came in. But so we were just kind of always like using the fairy emoji and like, anything very like eye catching. And then I don't know, the idea of like naming it that was just kind of like, if you were following us and our subliminal messaging with all those, aesthetics, then I just kind of I wanted someone to see the name and in a way, like it actually makes sense. They're like, oh, well, this has been the subliminal messaging the whole time. So they would just feel very addressed, like it was for them.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's kind of the idea. So, maybe there's only like 3 people in the whole world that happened to, let's just say, but like, this is the idea. It was just kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say, yeah, you're at a disadvantage, but it just like, was just kind of something that was very obvious to some and not very obvious to others. And that was the idea.
Okay. So there's like, I'll go back and look. So there's like a breadcrumb trail of fairy
a little
stuff.
Bit, yeah. Yeah, and we have like we actually have like a secret account, which I won't name drop here, and people find it, and just those little handful of people, there's subliminal messaging there. So just as long as they felt addressed and like it was for them.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
That's where the name came from.
Okay. I'll find the PSA Finsta out there.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
I'll find that. And then I'll see this account posting on the PSA account, be like, "Oh, that's great! This is a great album. I love it." No, I love.
Yeah, no, that's pretty funny.
No, I love. There's been a bunch of like people making burner Twitter accounts and like forgetting to sign out of their main account and like commenting on their main account thinking they're in their burner, being like, oh, it's a lot with like sports analysts and stuff. I've seen it.
Interesting. Okay. It's a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah. People are insane, Rhys. And they just I don't know. Oh man. Wow. We've been going for like 45 minutes now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is there any other questions or anything else we need to discuss?
Man, I was gonna ask you. What do you have any closing statements? Any I'm excited for y'all. The Japan thing. It's big. That's cool. Not a lot of people get to do that. So that's exciting.
Yeah. I'm excited too. And I appreciate your excitement.
Hell yeah.
That's kind of what it is at the end of the day, right? I mean, an experience, something just to be grateful for.
Wow. I'll drop all your handles and all that stuff in the intro, but yeah, do you have anything else you want to promote or talk about? I'll throw out there.
No, if anyone needs like some inspirational quote, I would just leave them with, don't let anyone dull your sparkle.
I like it.
Go.
I like it. Wow. Well, yeah, stay on for a minute, Rhys. But yeah, you had options. You decided to talk to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I got options.
Yeah, that's my closing line.
That.
Yeah.